Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are all well and you join me back again for not a book update or a book review, although there will be more of those to come. But following on from what I've spoken about learning and studying, I thought I'd start by explaining some of the things that I'm going to do to help me understand and improve my knowledge, help me learn, and help me expand my knowledge. And last video I showed you this, which was, I think you would call it a traveller's notebook. It folds over like that, and then you have the strap of leather to tie it up. It goes around the middle of the notebook. I actually made this from a kit, as I mentioned last week. I bought the kit and the paper and all the bits. I sewed down here and sewed the notebooks element of it into there. If you can see here, there is some thread which holds them together, and there's 4 pads, I guess you would call them, lined paper, reasonable size. I think with these the idea is that you can actually replace the note paper once you've used it all up. I haven't even written anything in this book, but my understanding is that you should be able to replace the notepads and you should be able to buy these, and then obviously you're just keeping the cover as is. So following on from that, I was thinking about, what helps me and whether this might help other people, and also for my own record. I think it's important to say that I want to ensure that I read as far and wide as possible, as many different books as I possibly can that is feasible and affordable, although I will try and utilise my library as much as possible. And I wanted to add to that it isn't always possible to be buying new books. You have to look for secondhand. As I said, you have to look for the library, maybe borrow books, exchange books, etc. But I thought what would be good would be to start to keep a list of all the books that I have read so far within the field of ancient Egypt and Egyptology and ancient Egyptian history. I've started to read a few now, and I think to keep a list, although these books are mine, and I will be keeping them at the moment, I think it would be good to actually have a written record of what I'm reading and going from there to make sure I don't duplicate, although we all read books that we've read more than once, particularly if we love them a lot and we think they're great, and I may well return to these books in the future. But I thought I'd show you. I'm just going to start by making a list and having a running list in this notebook of the books as I read them. And all I'm going to really do is title and author. I'm not going to really do much more than that, because I've got the books at the moment. These are all books that I already own, so there's not much worth in putting any more information. But what I'm going to do, and I've done this before when I've been making lists when I've been studying in the past for school and my exams and all sort of qualifications that I've done. So these are 4 notebooks. They're all the same size. There, and I've got another one here, and then the last one. But what I've done before in the past with books is I've gone to the back of the notepad and I've started keeping notes, some notes in the back. I mean, you will start at the front here, but I've started this list. I'm going to start keeping here at the back. It's something that I've done. It's something that I've seen other people do. It's just another way of using the notebook so it doesn't interfere with any notes and actual current study notes or information that you're writing, which you may start at the front of the notepad. And you can obviously keep a running list. I'm pleased to say that this is obviously lined, so I find lined paper a lot more easier to work with than unlined paper, mainly because I think I can't necessarily, the more you write, I find it doesn't stay in a straight line, it starts to go down and down and down. That's my experience. So I prefer lined paper. Unless I was going to be drawing or sketching something, lined paper, I think, for me is the way to go. So I'm going to start. I've pulled out 3 books already. This is just to show you really what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to head up here, book list. And you have to do this in a way that is understandable for you. I'll pull my camera down a little bit, maybe. As you can see, I've got my Sphinx here, my lovely Sphinx. be joining us. You have to write it in a way that is understandable for you, whatever notes you are making. You obviously have to be able to read your writing if you're making notes on pen and paper, but they have to be down in a way that makes sense to you. But this is different because this is literally just going to be a start of a list of books that I'm reading. So the first one I've got is my current read. This one here, oh, it's a bit big, Pharaohs of the Sun. I'm simply going to write the title and the author. There is the title, Pharaohs of the Sun, and I'm just going to put a dash here and it's write the author. The surname is quite long. I'm going to put that down here. I want to make sure that I spell that correctly. There, like that. And that will be the start, and that will be books that I've read or am reading. And so it will go on. And obviously you get to the bottom of the page. I hope I do. You're over and you can carry on here. And this doesn't interfere with what you're doing at the front of the notebook with notes and study and everything. And obviously if you get to the back of the page, you'll be starting a new notebook anyway. What else have we got on here? I'm just going to move this book out the way. Egypt's Golden Couple. A book I really enjoyed. I would really recommend this. Well, I would recommend all of the books that I'm reading. I find all of them really interesting. They're all very different, but all really interesting and all have a lot to say. This one I have done a review on. This is about I can't even say that. You can read it on here. A Nefertiti. Akhenaten and Nefertiti. There we go. And the next one I'm going to put on here is this one. The Earl and the Pharaoh. This was written by the Countess of Carnarvon. This is referencing the 5th Earl of Carnarvon, who was present with Howard Carter when they discovered the tomb of Tutankhamun. And it's really a history of his life. And it takes it up to Tutankhamun. And then obviously, as you may be aware, he didn't live much longer after finding the tomb. So there we go. 3 books already on the list. I have more and I will add more, but this is the start. And as I say, once I get to the bottom of the page will be over and I'll start down here and so on and so forth. So it's one way of keeping a list of all the books and resources that you use. There will be, I may well be putting the NAR magazines on there that I've got, all the other books that I've read or that I've got. There'll probably be books that I'm either reading or have read. If I have any other books that I haven't yet read, then I'll wait until I'm actually at that point of starting to read them. So that's what I'm going to be doing. You notice the front of the journal is obviously empty. I haven't started putting any notes in there yet, but I will do. So I hope that was helpful for you. What notes will I be putting in the front? Well, I think I might start. A lot of the books that I read, I find they start with maps and timelines, and I might do that at the beginning of this. A very sort of potted brief timeline of ancient Egyptian history, and go from there, and then see where that takes me. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found that interesting. As I say, I will be adding more books to that list as time goes on. Make it as full as possible and be reading around the subject as much as possible to expand my knowledge and understanding. But for now, I just wanted to bring you that. I hope that may help somebody. Please remember to like, subscribe and share my videos. It really is really much appreciated. I hope to bring you more on ancient Egypt in the future. But for now, thank you for watching.